And your acquisition process, can you tell me and us a little bit about that?
Yes. So as I said to Megan, I'm deeply transparent. I really will probably say anything. So we grew the company from self-funding $14,000 all the way through with no outside funding. We wouldn't have been given any by anybody anyway. And gave away no equity. And the reason we were able to self-fund is because the salon industry is cash on delivery. Still is. Individual salons, it's cash on delivery because we have horrible credit for the most part. But I love this industry. This is the industry that I love. I spent my life in it. So anyway, we were highly profitable, and having gone through 2 CEOs and realizing we really should have grown our own team and we didn't. And now we're sort of running out of runway because, I mean, you know, the death toll holds steady at 100%, right? So clearly there is a certain amount of runway we've all got. So Ray and I had to sort of admit, oh my God, look at this now. You know, when we were selling, I'm 56 and he was 65. So we still want to do things as well because we've been working so hard all these years. So we decided we didn't need to, because we were profitable and highly liquid, we didn't need outside partners. We didn't want to do that. We're not going to go to an IPO because we don't play well in the sandbox with anybody else. So to have shareholders would be a nightmare. They'd end up firing me, like all these stories you see in, you know, the Wall Street Journal. We were doing at that stage about $240 million at wholesale. So it was big, and we decided we'll go for an acquisition. We have 2 children. Our eldest child, who identifies as non-binary queer, and our youngest daughter. Neither of them were going to come into the business because Ray and I felt it was a burden, honestly, to take over a legacy business. If they suddenly decided, oh, we really want to have a skincare product, we would say, great, but it has to be your vision, your product. We'll help you, we'll support you, we'll introduce you to all our connections, but it's not going to be Dermalogica. And anyway, our eldest is an art therapy teacher, and our youngest is at University of Maryland studying criminal justice and wants to be in the FBI. So neither of them would have been a fit anyway. So we're going to an acquisition. So how do we do this? So it took us a while. We agonized over was it the right time, and we agreed it was. So then what are we going to do? All right, so our next door neighbor, well, he lived across the road, was at Skadden Arps, which is the biggest, you know, firm of attorneys, one of the great big firms that cost a fortune and are the ones you need when you're going to sell a company. And the reason you need them, and they are a fortune, and you will pay them, is because whoever is going to acquire you has got that equivalent attorney on the other side of the table. So we have breakfast with our neighbour, and we say to him, because that's how we roll, we say to him, Brian, what do you think? Like, we're thinking of, and what's the process like? Walk us through the process. We have no idea. We've never sold a company before. But again, it doesn't matter that you've never done it before, because no one has until they've done it. So he tells us, we're going to need a bank, we're going to need this. Okay, fine. So we line up a bank. We went with Mullis, a bank in Los Angeles. We're going with Skadden Arps as our firm of attorneys. And now we're having a meeting with all of them, and we're saying to walk us through the process. So they tell us, and one of the things they tell us is, look, you're going to do a book. This is what they call it. You're going to do a book. What's in the book? You're not writing a book. You're going to do a book. We're going to talk about the company, and we're going to talk about your assets. We're going to talk about everything, like what you've got, what, you know, the kind of money you're looking for, and we won't name the company. We'll just talk about it. All right, and they tell us all of this, and away we go. So we're in the elevator, and I said, Trey, what do you think about this book? He says, bloody awful, we're not doing that. I said, never! We're never doing that. Horrible! Oh my God, it's like a sales sheet. No. So we go away and everything. We come back to the bank and the attorneys, and we said, okay, we listened to what you said, we're not doing a book. And they said, no. We said, we're not doing a book. Because here's the deal. We have had so many approaches from competitors over the years. We've never taken a call. I never took those calls where they say, we want to talk to you about a matter of mutual interest. I have no mutual interest with you. You are my competitor. I don't want to sit down and have dinner with you. And if we are to go for dinner, I said to Ray, you know what's going to happen? We're just going to get all excited because we love our company, and they'll get really excited, and now they know something about us that they should never know, so we're never meeting. So we would say to our assistants, when you get one of those calls, you tell them no, and when they're interested, they'll call you. So we tell this to the bank, and they said, what are you talking about? We said, there are 8 companies who will want to buy us. We know who they are. We're not doing a book. We're never putting anything out there that someone can get hold of and go, oh, God, it's like so, cheap, right? I mean, I'm not hustling myself, forget it. So they said, how do you propose then? This is what they say, very condescendingly, although they're very nice people. So how do you propose you're going to get any offers if nobody knows you're for sale? So we said, because we'd already discussed it, we're going to do a whisper campaign. And they said, what's that? And we said, okay, here are the 8 companies, here are their names. Here are the names of the CEOs of those companies. We know how to get in touch with 3 of them. And the other 5, we're going to figure out with you how we get word to each of those CEOs. And this is what the word is going to be. It's a whisper. It has to come from somebody who knows them. And the whisper is, you're in the cosmetic business, right? Or you have something to do with it, right? Yeah. Whoever it is will say, yes, I'm XYZ, you'll know the names. And then you're to say, I know Jane and Raymond Werwin. Do you know Dermalogica? And they'll say, yes. And you'll say, this may be a rumor, but I heard, not anything big, but I heard they're thinking about thinking. That's all you have to say. That's it. And they said, this is ridiculous. And we said, that's all you have to say. That's it. And they will cut and they will call. Promise. That's what's going to happen. I swear to God, it's exactly what happened. So we're looking at the list, and one of the names on the list, they'll probably kill me if they hear me say this. Ken Mullis, who runs Mullis Bank in LA, said, oh, I know him. I'm on a board with him. And I said, then you've got him. And he got into it. He said, okay, all right. I said, so look, you know what you're going to say? He said, yes. And that's how we did it. And that's what happened. Wow. So we ended up within 3 weeks, we had an approach from all 8 of those companies. I know, never did a book, never put it out there. You'll never see a term sheet that came from Dermalogica. And so what happened was, our thing was, don't bring your mergers and acquisitions people. They had this horrible phrase, you've probably heard it, I had not heard it before, opening the kimono. Oh. Isn't that horrible? How horrible and racist and sexist is that? I'm sitting in a room with these guys and they're saying, we won't open the kimono. I said, wait a minute, what are we talking about? And they said, well, you're not going to reveal anything. And I said, it's a horrible phrase. We're not saying that. Don't anyone say that again. Just say, we're not going to tell them anything. That's all. So anyway, so we're not going to tell them anything. I said, we are not going to discuss numbers. We're not going to talk about our turnover. We want to have dinner with the CEO. Dinner. And the CEO of the person who's courting us picks the restaurant and the place, and we'll be there. Because everything we need to know will be revealed by then. Right? Right, so they said, well, they're going to want to bring the M&A people. We said, we don't want those people in the room because we're not discussing any numbers. We are going to be discussing how the chemistry is between us. We're just going to get to know each other. Want to know what you're interested in, where you like to go on vacation. your value system is, you know, what your feelings are about, you know, different things that we care about, and we'll do it like that. And it was so illuminating. Ray said to me after like the second one, this is so much fun, we could write a book about this. I said, so I'll give you a little glimpse. So one of the suitors, I'll give you three. One of the suitors who we said, okay, we would like to meet, the only condition we had was we would like to meet somewhere private, because a lot of these people are quite well known, you know, visually, people will recognize them. And in LA anyway, we're well known, and immediately people put two and two together. We hadn't told our team or our staff, so we said it has to be somewhere private, intimate, you know, not anywhere big. So the first one said, great, he wants to meet us at Soho House in LA. Okay, whereabouts? In the bar. I don't think so. So we go, and I said to Ray, it's going to be fun. So we get there, we sit down. He has chosen a table right in the main thoroughfare of Soho House in LA. So we go in, we sit down, and we order a drink, and we said to each other, there is absolutely no way, because we are not even going to have a conversation. It's too obvious, it's too public, so that was that off. The second one, flying in from Europe, and wants to fly us to New York, and put us in a beautiful hotel, and send a limo, and they take us to Per Se, which is extremely lovely restaurant in New York, in a private room with a beautiful 8-course tasting menu and wine pairings. So expensive, you can't believe it. And lovely, charming, wonderful, and not our value system. Just not. And I was hoping, I knew that they would be in the final conversation, but hoping that it wouldn't be them. Now, Unilever, I got the Whisper campaign to Paul Polman, who was their CEO now, and he's just great. And he flew commercial from Austin, Texas, although he's based in London, because he'd been in Austin, Texas, and he told us his son played in a band, and they were doing like a battle of the bands in Austin, Texas. So they stayed in an Airbnb in Austin, Texas. He flew commercial to LA. He took an Uber from LAX, came on his own completely, no one with him. He walked in the front door of Dermalogica. I went to meet him, and the first thing he said to me was, hello, Jane, I'm a little obsessed with FIGHT, which is our non-profit initiative at Dermalogica, financial independence through education and entrepreneurship. And I said, good, because I'm a little obsessed with that too. And we sat in our meeting room, and we brown bag lunched it. And we just spoke about, we didn't talk about business, we just spoke about things we cared about. We spoke about what we thought about sustainability. We talked about the fact that we felt the new luxury, the new prestige was going to be highly sustainable packaging, not the big over-packaged with cellophane and all the rest of it, but much more streamlined, pared down. That was going to be highly prestigious, high luxury would be that. We talked about what we felt about climate change. We talked about what we felt could be done about, you know, packaging. And we talked about things we cared about, and off he went. Never even once asked us, tell me your numbers, what kind of thing, nothing. And when he said goodbye to us, he said, I really hope we can continue the conversation. And I said, well, me too, let's see. And that was it. And when we had a bidding war, and when Unilever wrote the offer letter, Paul Polman personally signed it, which is kind of unheard of. Usually it's the mergers and acquisitions people. And as well as a very highly compelling financial offer, he promised to create 5 million jobs for women in their supply chain.
Wow.
I know. So it was a very unexpected. Unilever was not the person that people thought would buy us, because they weren't even in prestige skincare. They have Dove and they have mass skincare, but they didn't have prestige. But what they said to us is, we want Dermalogica because we want a cornerstone for prestige skincare. We want to build the biggest prestige skincare business. So now since Dermalogica's acquisition. They have Murad, Kate Somerville, Hourglass, Wren, Living Proof. So they're building out a big prestige stable, and we all still function entrepreneurially. I'm still involved with Dermalogica. I'm still the chief visionary for the brand. And it's great, and we operate much as we did. There's a lot, it's different financially and everything else because your reporting structure is a bit different, but everything else is pretty much the same. It's great.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.